The security guard at MediaVision Broadcasting thought he was dealing with a lost child when 8-year-old Zoe Thompson walked into their Manhattan headquarters carrying a camera made from cardboard and broken electronics, claiming she could fix their failing network with her better way to make TV. The small girl with curly red hair and bright green eyes wore a faded purple sweater that had seen better days, her sneakers scuffed from countless adventures around New York City's foster care system. In her arms, she clutched what appeared to be an elaborate construction of recycled materials: old phone cameras, cardboard tubes, colored wires, and LED lights, all assembled with the meticulous care of someone who understood that imagination could transform trash into treasure. Before we get to this wonderful story, please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Now let's get back to the story. "Excuse me, little miss," said Frank Martinez, the veteran security guard who had worked at MediaVision for 12 years. "Are you looking for someone? Did you get separated from your parents?" Zoe shook her head with the serious determination that foster children often develop when advocating for themselves. "I need to talk to the boss lady about fixing your TV shows. They're all fuzzy and keep cutting out, and I know why that's happening." Frank glanced at the makeshift camera device, trying to process the unusual situation. MediaVision Broadcasting was indeed experiencing the worst technical crisis in its 30-year history. For the past 6 weeks, their signal quality had been deteriorating across all platforms, causing viewer complaints and advertiser concerns that threatened the network's survival. "Sweetie, this is a big company with very important people," Frank said gently. "They're too busy to meet with children, especially about technical problems that our engineers are already working on." Zoe's expression grew more determined. "But they're not fixing it the right way. I've been watching your shows for months, and I can see the patterns. Your cameras aren't talking to each other properly, and your streaming system has hiccups every 3.7 minutes. Frank blinked in surprise at the specificity of her observation. The 3.7-minute intervals matched exactly the technical reports he'd overheard engineers discussing in elevator conversations. 43 floors above the lobby, Amanda Cross stood in MediaVision's state-of-the-art control room, watching helplessly as their flagship morning show experienced another round of signal degradation. At 47, Amanda had built MediaVision from a small cable channel into America's third-largest broadcasting network, but the current technical crisis was threatening to destroy everything she'd worked to create. "Viewer numbers are down 18% this week," reported Kevin Walsh, her head of operations, consulting a tablet displaying real-time analytics. "Advertising revenue is projected to drop 43% if we can't resolve these quality issues." Amanda nodded grimly, her perfectly styled blonde hair and navy blue suit projecting confidence she didn't feel. "What's the latest from our technical team?" "They're completely baffled," Kevin admitted. "We've replaced servers, upgraded cameras, hired the best engineers money can buy. The equipment tests perfectly in isolation, but something goes wrong when everything works together." Amanda's phone buzzed with yet another call from MediaVision's board of directors, demanding immediate solutions to problems that seemed to have no logical cause. The network's stock price had fallen 32% in the past month, and competitor networks were already circling like vultures, ready to acquire MediaVision's content library and broadcast licenses at fire-sale prices. "Ms. Cross," came Frank's voice through the intercom, "I have an unusual situation in the lobby. There's a young girl here who claims she can help with our technical problems." Amanda's patience, already stretched thin by weeks of crisis management, snapped entirely. "Frank, I don't have time for publicity stunts or make-a-wish visits. We're dealing with a company-wide emergency. Ma'am, she knows specific details about our signal problems that aren't public knowledge. She mentioned the 3.7-minute interval pattern that our engineers just discovered yesterday." Amanda felt a chill of suspicion. Corporate espionage in the media industry was common, but using a child as a courier seemed both elaborate and unlikely. "Send her up, but have security escort her directly to conference room C." 20 minutes later, Amanda found herself sitting across from Zoe Thompson, studying the child's homemade camera device with growing fascination. The construction was far more sophisticated than it initially appeared, incorporating multiple lenses, adjustable lighting systems, and what looked like a custom-designed signal processing unit built from repurposed smartphone components. "Zoe," Amanda said, keeping her tone professional but gentle, "where did you learn to build something like this?" Zoe carefully placed her device on the conference table, handling it with the reverence of an artist presenting a masterpiece. "I live at Sunshine Children's Home. Mrs. Rodriguez, who takes care of us, throws away lots of broken electronics. I started taking them apart to see how they work, then figured out how to put the good parts together in new ways." Amanda exchanged glances with Kevin, who had joined the meeting despite his initial skepticism. "How long have you been doing this?" "Since I was 6, Zoe replied matter-of-factly. "I've made 17 different cameras, but this one is special because it can see problems that regular cameras can't see." Amanda leaned forward with genuine curiosity. "What do you mean, it can see problems?" Zoe's eyes lit up with enthusiasm as she began explaining her invention. "Most cameras just record what's happening right now, but my camera also watches how the signals move between different parts of the TV system. It's like having X-ray vision for electronics." Kevin studied the device more closely, his engineering background recognizing sophisticated concepts despite the improvised construction. "Zoe, are you saying this camera can diagnose technical problems in broadcasting equipment?" "Not just diagnose," Zoe corrected excitedly. "It can show you exactly where the problems start and how they spread through the whole system. Like when you get sick and the doctor needs to find out if it's your stomach or your throat or your ears that's causing the trouble." Amanda felt a spark of hope for the first time in weeks. "Zoe, would you be willing to show us how your camera works?" Over the next hour, Zoe guided Amanda and Kevin through a demonstration that challenged everything they thought they knew about broadcast technology. Her homemade device revealed signal interference patterns that MediaVision's professional diagnostic equipment had completely missed. "See this red flashing here?" Zoe pointed to her camera's small display screen. "That means your main computer is trying to talk to your backup computer, but they're speaking different languages. It's like if I spoke English and you spoke Spanish, and we kept getting frustrated because we couldn't understand each other." Kevin stared at the readout, recognizing data that aligned perfectly with the mysterious 3.7-minute failure pattern. "This is incredible. Our diagnostic systems couldn't identify this communication protocol mismatch." "That's because your diagnostic systems are part of the problem," Zoe explained with the matter-of-fact clarity that children often bring to complex issues. "They're designed to check individual pieces, but they can't see how all the pieces work together. My camera watches the whole conversation." Amanda processed the implications of what she was witnessing. An 8-year-old foster child, working with discarded electronics, had developed diagnostic capabilities that surpassed million-dollar professional equipment. "Zoe," Amanda said carefully, "if your camera can identify our technical problems, do you think you could help us fix them?" Zoe nodded confidently. "I already know what needs to change. Your computers need translation software so they can understand each other better. It's like teaching everyone to speak the same language." Kevin pulled out his tablet, frantically taking notes as Zoe described solutions that were both technically sophisticated and elegantly simple. "Ms. Cross, if she's correct, we could implement these changes within days rather than months." Amanda felt the ground shifting beneath her understanding of where innovation actually originated. For decades, she had assumed that breakthrough technology required expensive research facilities, advanced degrees, and massive budgets. Zoe was proving that revolutionary insights could emerge from curiosity, resourcefulness, and the freedom to experiment without preconceived limitations. "Zoe," Amanda said, making a decision that would transform both their lives, "how would you feel about working with our technical team to implement these solutions?" Zoe's face brightened with pure joy. "Really? I could help fix TV for everyone." "You could help revolutionize how television works," Amanda replied, understanding that she was witnessing the beginning of something far more significant than solving MediaVision's immediate crisis. The following week, MediaVision's engineering department underwent the most unusual collaboration in broadcasting history. Zoe worked alongside PhD-level technicians, her insights challenging fundamental assumptions about how media technology should function. Her childlike questions often revealed flaws in complex systems that trained professionals had overlooked. "Why do you make the signal travel such a long, complicated path?" Zoe asked during a technical review session. "When I want to get from my bedroom to the kitchen, I don't walk through every other room first." Dr. Patricia Kim, MediaVision's chief technology officer, studied the signal routing diagrams with fresh eyes. "You're absolutely right. We've been optimizing individual components without considering overall system efficiency." Zoe's approach to technology was fundamentally different from traditional engineering methodologies. Rather than following established protocols, she visualized electronic systems as conversations between different components, identifying miscommunications and developing solutions that prioritized harmony over complexity. "Electronics have feelings too," Zoe explained to a room full of skeptical engineers. "When they're happy, they work really well together. When they're confused or scared, they make mistakes. My job is helping them feel comfortable with each other." The anthropomorphization of technology initially amused the technical staff, but Zoe's results were undeniably impressive. Her modifications improved signal quality by 67%, reduced processing delays by 43%, and eliminated the mysterious failure patterns that had been plaguing the network. Mrs. Rodriguez from Sunshine Children's Home visited MediaVision twice during that week, initially concerned that Zoe was being exploited, but gradually recognizing the extraordinary opportunity her foster daughter had discovered. "Zoe has always been different," she told Amanda during their second meeting. "She sees connections between things that other children don't notice: electronics, music, even the way people interact. She finds patterns everywhere." Amanda had been developing a proposal that would ensure Zoe's continued development while maintaining her connection to the foster care system that had nurtured her creativity. "Mrs. Rodriguez, I'd like to establish a scholarship program for Zoe's education, along with an internship that allows her to work with our team while continuing her schooling." The program included funding for Zoe's specialized education in media technology and engineering, support for Sunshine Children's Home's electronics workshop, and a mentorship structure that would help other foster children develop their own technical interests. "This isn't charity," Amanda emphasized. "Zoe has already saved our company millions of dollars and positioned us as leaders in broadcast innovation. Her insights have commercial value that justifies significant investment." 6 weeks after Zoe's homemade camera first entered MediaVision's headquarters, the network's technical crisis had been completely resolved. More importantly, Zoe's innovations had been implemented across the entire broadcasting industry, setting new standards for signal quality and system integration. Amanda stood in the control room, watching as MediaVision's flagship evening news broadcast achieved the highest technical quality ratings in the network's history. Beside her, Zoe monitored her diagnostic equipment with the same focused attention she had once applied to building cameras from cardboard and broken phones. "The signal is perfect tonight," Zoe announced with satisfaction. "All the electronic conversations are happy and working together." Kevin joined them, carrying the latest viewership reports. "Audience numbers are up 37% from last month. We're seeing the highest engagement ratings in 5 years." Amanda felt a profound shift in her understanding of where media innovation actually originated. For years, she had assumed that technological breakthroughs required expensive laboratories and advanced research teams. Zoe had proven that the most revolutionary insights could come from curiosity, creativity, and the willingness to see technology as something alive and collaborative rather than merely mechanical. "Zoe," Amanda said, "what would you like to work on next?" Zoe's eyes lit up with possibilities. "I've been thinking about how to make TV shows that change based on what people want to watch, like interactive stories where the audience gets to help decide what happens." Amanda smiled, recognizing that Zoe's curiosity was unlimited and her potential impact on media technology was just beginning. The girl who had once built cameras from foster home discards was now designing the future of interactive entertainment. 3 months later, MediaVision announced the launch of the Zoe Thompson Innovation Lab, dedicated to developing next-generation broadcast technology with input from young inventors nationwide. The lab combined cutting-edge professional equipment with the creative freedom that had allowed Zoe to make her initial breakthrough. Zoe, now 9 years old and officially adopted by Amanda Cross, had become the youngest person ever to hold patents in broadcast technology. Her story inspired media companies worldwide to reconsider how they approached innovation, leading to the establishment of youth inventor programs across the industry. The foster care system that had once seemed like an obstacle to Zoe's development had actually provided the perfect environment for her creativity to flourish. Without access to expensive equipment, she had learned to innovate using imagination and resourcefulness, skills that proved more valuable than any advanced technology. Amanda Cross had built her media empire by following industry standards and established practices. But an 8-year-old girl with a cardboard camera had taught her that the most valuable innovations often come from those brave enough to question what everyone else accepts as the best possible way to do things. The security guard at MediaVision Broadcasting had seen thousands of visitors enter the headquarters over the years, but none had been as transformative as the small girl who walked in carrying a homemade camera and impossible dreams. Zoe's cardboard construction had carried more than diagnostic equipment. It had transported the entire broadcasting industry toward a future where technology served creativity rather than constraining it. Years later, when media historians studied the breakthrough that revolutionized television technology, they would trace it back to a foster child who spent her days building cameras from discarded electronics, wondering why professional broadcasting equipment couldn't be as creative and adaptable as her homemade inventions. Zoe Thompson had proven that the most extraordinary discoveries often begin with the simplest question: what if we could make this better? The girl who had once created TV shows in her foster home bedroom had grown into a media technologist whose innovations shaped how the world experienced entertainment. Her story became a reminder that genius doesn't always announce itself with degrees and laboratories. Sometimes it arrives quietly, carried by small hands that build impossible dreams from broken pieces, one innovative solution at a time. The broadcasting industry would never be the same after Zoe Thompson walked through those security doors with her cardboard camera and boundless imagination. She had proven that the future of media technology wasn't being developed in corporate research facilities, but in the creative minds of children who saw electronics not as complicated machines, but as friends waiting to tell better stories together. Thank you very much for listening. Please let us know what you think of this story in the comments. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications so you don't miss any other videos.